Hey everyone, alright, if you can hear an ambulance going on in the background, that is from my end, just in case you start feeling nervous because you hear one. That's from somewhere over here. Not my house, but somewhere around here. So anyway, so if you watch my other videos, I talked about the stuff that I wanted to pre-record before I evacuate. There was one I briefly mentioned of something that was a little strange, and I wanted to kind of go in detail about. That was kind of unexpected for me, of something that I picked up, and I'm not quite sure how, I don't know, I haven't really thought about it that much, but it's something that I've just been thinking about. So before I get into it, it's about Madeleine McCann, okay? It's about her because she was in the news recently. Her family was in the news recently for some sort of defamation lawsuit or something like that, and it didn't go through. So I'm being pulled toward, that's what I'm going to talk about, but here's a separate message, okay? So I'm being pulled towards the West, okay? And I'm in the United States, but it doesn't feel like the United States. So I pulled up a map and I went from North America and I went west on the globe, and I see Japan, Korea, China, and I'm like, no, it doesn't feel right. So I kept going, and where I stopped that felt more accurate is Spain, the UK, Ireland, France, the Western Sahara, Guinea, Sierra Leone, like that is the West that I'm being pulled towards. And this image that keeps flashing in the back of my mind is the UK and the buildings that have remnants of bombings from the World War. And you can do, like, if you ever been to the UK or you live there or whatever, you can go on tours and they'll point you around to different areas that have been bombed. And so it's like that feeling of like being shown these areas, like they're showing me actual, not the building itself, but like basically what I'm saying is, like, it's not important to know which building it is. They're just showing me like the side of this concrete building and how it has some sort of crumbling to it from a war. And so, and then when I was taking a deep breath, I'm trying to get more information, I heard Spain. Spain. So maybe there's something that's going to happen in Spain, or Spain is somehow related to this, or I just got an image and then it went away really quick. It was like kind of like yellow. Something looked yellow, I think, and like red. Maybe it was a flag. Maybe they were showing me the colors of a flag. I'm hearing you have to be careful when you're on the coast. And then they showed me like drawing of the coast of the western side of all those places. They're like, you have to be careful when you're on the coast, and then they highlighted all of that. And they're kind of showing me, like, you know, if you look at GPS or like a map or something, and it shows the traffic and it can turn like red or yellow, they're kind of showing me that, like, heavily trafficked area. And then they're showing me somewhere that's like further inland and south. So like, let's say I'll look at the map. And I'm going to use Spain as an example because that's what I keep feeling. Like, maybe somewhere around here, Don Benito. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not going to be able to see it. Yeah. Somewhere around there, maybe? Or at least like that part of, or Zafra, or like north of that, Joe's. I don't know how to say that. Badajoz. Like somewhere around there, possibly. Or no, I don't know. So I mean, somewhere around there. Okay. I might not be exact with that, but I'm just being pulled towards there. I'm just being pulled towards over there. And I don't know, there's something there that's important, or it's about to be important. I'm going to say October. I wanted to go October through February, and then it pulled me and just kind of like it kind of felt like a stretch, like a rubber band, like stretching. It's like, don't go that far, just stick to October. And then I'm like trying to look at November, and they're pulling me back to October. So it's like, stay here in October, stop trying to look ahead too far, because October is significant. To be hyper vigilant, to be aware if you're in those areas, or pay attention to that area, something like that. Okay, so that's the separate message. I'm not getting anything else, I don't think. I'm just seeing the yellows. I'm seeing yellow. But anyway, so moving on to Madeleine McCann. This is a separate message I wanted to talk about. So I'm aware of the conspiracies surrounding Madeleine McCann, and I was aware of that before I even knew who she like the story, or like that, to even like investigate it myself. It never occurred to me to do that, because I had already heard what people were speculating, all kinds of different theories, right? And so that was that. Well, when she came back into the news, her family did, I immediately had this feeling that she was alive. And where she is feels like she's underground, but also above ground. Like, the way that I'm seeing it is kind of like the deserts of Arizona, for an example, or just like desert land where there's like sparse trees. Like, it feels like there's not a lot, and it feels like dry air, and almost like a desert environment is kind of how it feels. And there's a cave. That's how they're showing me, is like the entrance to a cave, and her standing in the entrance of the cave. And so to me, that's a representative of like above ground and below ground. And it feels like she's content, like she's happy. It feels like there's a part of her that feels trapped, like she's like the parallel that they're giving me is Princess Latifah, if any of you are familiar with her, the Princess of Dubai, and how she can only have certain liberties, perceived liberties within Dubai. She didn't really have true freedom, which was what she was really seeking. And so there's this parallel where Madeleine is kind of this high-ranking princess, if you will, or just like thing, right? Like some level of authority, and she doesn't have the freedoms to safely leave this environment if she chose to do that. But there's some sort of optimism in her, and I don't know if this is like what that's pertaining to, but I just feel like she's happy about something. And when I connect back to the family, it feels as if there's another story that I'm getting that they're connecting me to, which is one of the missing persons cases that I did. And this particular missing person was found alive and was returned to the family, and there's like a lot of controversy surrounding that. My videos got a lot of flack for the contents or context of what I was saying. However, I stand by what I say. There are conspiracies and supposedly people that have come out and expressed some things that are similar to what I was saying. And but the difference that I'm seeing is the parents of Madeleine McCann. First of all, Madeleine is in a much more powerful position. It's like her soul was sought after. This other person that I'm talking about that I did a missing persons case, it feels like they sold this child into this. Like it was a bribery, it was a trade-off, it was like, you know, disturbing stuff like this, which this is Madeleine equally disturbing. There's a missing girl for many years now, but it feels as if the people responsible for Madeleine going missing were seeking out her soul. They're tracking her soul, and it is significant to her eyes because it's indicative. And obviously there are people who don't have this storyline attached to them, but I think this is just a hallmark for them to like look for these particular souls. But it's like it's supposed to represent that as they reincarnated, it was like a fight for the soul between good and evil before incarnating here. And that's the bleed through, that's the representation of a struggle on the spiritual side that causes the eye to become that way. And so these soul trackers on Earth that are looking around for these particular incarnated souls that are part of their soul family, like the evil, the demonic soul family. They try and find where that soul incarnated, and particular ones that they know are supposed to be coming soon, that they communicate with on the other side, or demons communicate to them on the other side that they're incarnating. They'll look for them in this life by different hallmarks, right? So there'll be like witches or whoever, like prophet. Well, I don't really want to use the word prophet for that, but whatever, like bad prophets, right? Like evil prophets, and evil witches, like just the negative manipulation of these abilities, these people. They will try and like pick up on descriptors of where the soul is going, and you get the point. So it feels like the family was in over their heads. It's kind of like this feeling of like, well, you either go along with it or you don't. We're going to make it difficult for you. It's like, kind of like taking, you either take the bribe or you don't. Either way, we're going to get what we want. So do you want to make this easy on yourself or more difficult? That's your choice. So it doesn't feel like they necessarily had a choice. I don't know the reality of it. I don't know if this is more of just like what they presented to the world, but that's what it feels, because the mom, she feels powerless. That's how it feels, powerless. The father feels more like relieved, or like wanting to leave the problem in the past, wanting to just kind of move forward and accept fate. Like this is kind of like this fated situation, because they're dealing with some, it's not just entities, but people who give power, right? Like these entities exist. That's fine, whatever, that's true, right? But they can't have any perceived power on earth unless the people who have incarnated here, us, give them that power. And so these people are giving these negative entities power, and therefore by following their guidance, by inviting them into this realm, by doing all of the things and all the crazy stuff that's associated with it. And so these parents are like, we're in over our heads with this. And so that's what I see with that. And does that mean anything? As like Madeleine, that has free will, right? Like she's an innocent person. She was an innocent child, and she can still make those choices within her own mind of what she wants to believe, irregardless of any sort of manipulation or whatever happens or is happening, right? Assuming that she's still alive, and that what I'm picking up on has some truth to it. Assuming that. So I don't know, that's what I saw. That's pretty much all I wanted to say, other than like the way that I see it is she's the gatekeeper to the outside world. It's like she holds this powerful position where she kind of relays to these underworld civilization. It feels like an underworld civilization, like people who live below the surface or like live in these caves. I know this sounds like really out there and crazy, which I told you it was kind of weird. But it feels like these, like, I don't know, it could represent people who are in the dark. Like they could very well not be living in caves, but maybe people who are in the dark who don't know any better, who don't have this information because they were born and raised in like a certain environment, while Madeleine was taken out from a family, like something like that. Basically, Madeleine kind of like she has captured some form of what the outside world is like. You know what I mean? And so she's that link, that gatekeeper, like I don't know, and it feels like she has the ability to go from both worlds, like this underworld, or like the world of the people who do not know, and then this world that is outside amongst civilization, or at least amongst, you know, let's say like higher authority figures, like you know, like politicians and stuff. Like if she's like around people who are living outside amongst us, you get what I'm saying? So And it feels like she speaks different languages. Something like that. Or she communicates in different ways. Like it's like she's... Yeah, that's what I see. Something like that. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.